Welcome back to Dear Gabby. What's up, everybody? Big show today, guys. This is my show where you can come on and ask me anything. You can throw anything at me at any moment. I will get you the answers that you are looking for. And I've got a bunch of decks on the floor. I'm going to pick out which deck I'm going to choose from. Now, you guys can decide which deck you want me to pick from today. What are you feeling? Spirit Junkie? Super Attractor? Or The Universe Has Your Back? The first one I see, I will do. You decide. Viewer's choice. Which one? Spirit Junkie, Super Attractor, Universe Has Your Back. Whoever can tell me which one they want, I will pick it. Somebody said they wanted the Spirit Junkie deck. That was the only one I saw, so we're going to start there. I feel like I'm dressed like the Spirit Junkie deck today, like this pop of pink and this white outfit. So I'm just channeling Michaela's art here for the Spirit Junkie deck. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's see what card we have in store today for our Dear Gabby community. And let's just raise our vibrations today on this show. What does the universe have in store for us here in this deck right now? There's no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I'm being guided to learn and grow. Wow. Well, I don't think there's more of a timely message than there is today. Nothing is a mistake. Here we go. Let's talk about this. Let me break this down for you. Here I go, guys. While they figure out the link situation, I am going to break down what this card means to me. So this card from the Spirit Junkie deck, there's no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I am being guided to learn and grow. Here we go, people. When we look at the situations in our life from a place of regret, we ultimately miss the opportunity for growth. We miss the opportunity to see what could have been beneath that discomfort. We miss the opportunity to acknowledge and recognize that every experience in our life is not an accident. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens in a divine order. And when we live and lead and show up for our life, grounded in that belief system, then we can face our most difficult moments with a sense of purpose and power. And we can show up for those moments with a opportunity to grow, focusing on the opportunity to grow, focusing on the opportunity for a shift, for strength, for spiritual awakening, for a new way of being and a new perception of our lives. So that's a lot. I know that's a lot. I know that when something really bad happens, like what we've been experiencing recently in the world, what we experienced in the United States last week, when we experienced something like a pandemic, we don't want to see the spiritual assignment. We don't want to see that this is not a mistake. But typically when difficult things happen, they are revealing what needs to be healed. These uncomfortable moments, whether they be global or they be personal, are revealing what we have to heal, whether we have to heal it on an individual level, which is where it begins, and what we have to heal on a global perspective and a global level. So showing up to all these uncomfortable moments and recognizing them, that they are not a mistake, that they're happening in a divine order, and it's our opportunity to perceive these situations from the lens of what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I shift from this? How can I lean towards more love? How can I lean towards more joy? How can I lean into the lesson rather than the problem, the solution rather than seeking all of the faults and looking for all of the problems? So this is a big one. It's pretty loaded. I'm gonna set it up for you right here. There you guys go. That is your card. I'll read it to you again with my green nails. Do you see my green nails? There's no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I am being guided to learn and grow. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, here we go, everybody. Let's jump in. Let's ask for some Dear Gabbies to come through. All right, here's my advice. If you want a relationship, be unapologetic about it, because you coming on right now and saying to me, your old friend, your teacher, your sister, saying to me very publicly, I don't have anything I want to manifest, when I'm sitting here knowing exactly what you want to manifest, means that you are diminishing your desires because of the fear of not being able to manifest them. And I know you well enough that you can't come out here without getting a real Gabby ass kicking. And here it is. You, my love, have a desire that you may be downplaying. And I want to call it out right now. And anyone else out there that thinks they might be, someone goes, boom. Anyone else out there who thinks they might be downplaying their desires, I want to see a high five, because I want you to straight up give it to me. Give it to me. And I see that even with myself. You know, I have a desire and I'm keep saying like, well, you know, I'm open to something else if it's not that. And it's like, I am open to creative possibilities and I will stay receptive, but I don't want to take away what my desire is. I don't want to diminish my desire. I don't want to minimize it, right? So, Kiara, say it out loud right now. I want a relationship. Oh, okay, good. I heard that. I think that the universe heard that. I think that all the Dear Gabby listeners heard that. I think we can get behind that, my love. All right, my work is done here. My work is done. But the message for everybody watching is, if you're playing down your desire, then you're very, very, very actively telling the universe that you don't believe you're worthy of what you want. That's the work here. Accepting that you are worthy of what you desire. And I see you on your Instagram dancing and shaking your booty and looking real cute. So, and Sam's like, yes. So yeah, this is your moment to really claim it. Thank you for sharing that with all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, here's the thing. You are currently living in what would be considered a insecure attachment wound. And not only is it something that you experienced as a child, but you're living it right now. And it's a tough one because it's the type of attachment where you need the person, but that person that you need is also the cause of neglect and harm. And I first of all, as a recovering addict, alcoholic, I have a lot of compassion for your mom. So let me just start right there, okay? And then I'm going to put it all onto you, because this is not about her. This is about you. But first and foremost, for your mother and all of the addicts who are still sick and suffering, or those who are in recovery, I have a tremendous amount of love, gratitude for your awakening, for all of those who do get sober and get clean. And for those who are not in this moment, I say a prayer for all of you. And anyone who has a loved one who is suffering with addiction right now. And I plan on doing a live very soon with one of my best friends in the world. Her name is Elisa Hallerman, and she's an addiction specialist. So we're going to do a live together, and I want you to be on the lookout for that. So let's first start there, okay? But that doesn't mean that this isn't your experience. That doesn't mean that your mother, God bless her, with all of her illness and disease, has not been able to create a healthy attachment bond with you. And if you grew up in a household where your parent was sometimes safe and sometimes not safe, that can create what is called disorganized attachment. And a disorganized attachment can be really a huge, I'll just say it, earmuffs to the children, mind fuck to your brain, because there is the part of your brain that wants to go towards that person for help, because that's your biological, from a neuroscientific standpoint, that is the brain's desire and need to long for and go towards. And then there's the same part of your brain that is in complete contrast to that, which says, run, this is not safe. So there's this major conflict for you that is a childhood experience that is still being reenacted right now in this moment. So the work, my love, is for you to care for and create a safe space for yourself right now. Okay? And to be in as much of that space, of that self space of caring for, loving, and compassionately guiding yourself from a moment to moment perspective. This moment while you're living with your mother it may not be the moment where you clear all the wounds, but it can be the moment where you recognize and accept that you can care for yourself. Okay? Now, with that said, you want to make sure you're safe. You want to make sure that you're not overriding yourself, that you are not taking on the responsibility of her life, right? So there's a lot here. But this moment in time, while you are living in her presence, I think you have to make sure that you're putting yourself first, putting that oxygen mask on yourself first. Okay, Al-Anon is for the family members and loved ones of alcoholics and addicts. So it's a 12-step program for you, not for the addict, it's for you. So you can Google wherever you are in the UK and Al-Anon, and there will definitely be a website that will pop up, and it will guide you to a Zoom link where you can open up your Zoom, whatever day that is, and be part of a meeting that's made for you, where you can share, where you can get a sponsor, where you can have someone guide you through the 12 steps. And there's nothing that you need more right now than that. This is a moment for you to be part of your own recovery group and to have that support. So I want to be extreme. People are saying Al-Anon is amazing. Yeah, Al-Anon saves lives. So you are living in a chaotic attachment breach, and you're living with a lot of obvious fear given the world circumstances and given your home circumstances. So you need support. You need my suggestion is to check out an Al-Anon meeting. I wish I could just pick you up in my car and take you to a meeting myself right now, and maybe one day I'll see you in the UK and we'll have a real hug with no masks. And not that we don't wear, one day when we don't need masks, sorry to be very clear. When we no longer need masks and I can get on a plane and fly to the UK and give you a hug, okay? That's my vision. I think that that's an important message, because when we watch this show, Dear Gabby, and when you watch the replays and when you're part of this community, what you recognize is, one, that we're all suffering. You can see everybody's suffering in their own ways. And sometimes it's not about comparing your suffering to somebody else's, because we all have our own wounds that maybe can be extremely wide open at times, even though if it's seemingly insignificant, right? It doesn't matter. We can still experience our experiences. But when we see other people and their truth and their experience, one, we recognize that we're not alone. And two, we can also see that, okay, you know what? I can survive this too. I can live through this too. I will be okay. So those are two very important intentions of our gathering here on this show. Well, here's the good news. That fear is always, we want to use our fear as a guide back to love. That's something I wrote about in Super Attractor, because sometimes our fear reveals to us that we are really caring about something. Sometimes our fear reveals to us that we want to make sure we do it right, that we want to really show up with our highest potential. And so instead of letting that fear take you down, I want you to use that fear as a way of transforming the choice that you're making, showing up for this commitment to others in a way that is something super serious for you. It's something you're taking really seriously. It's something that you're really committing to. It's something that you're showing up for with a tremendous amount of desire to grow and learn and experience so that you can continue to develop your skills. So instead of taking that fear as a moment of saying, oh no, I'm not good enough, or how can I do this? See it as a guidepost to just rise up even higher. You got me? Sometimes fear can just be a good kick in the ass. Okay, I'm just going to continue to commit. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to show up at my highest potential. You got me on that? So surrender isn't about giving up. It's about giving over. We think it's giving up. Oh, I'm going to let go of my desire. I'm not going to be able to control it. In fact, that's true. You won't want to be controlling something that you long for, because if you're controlling it, you're getting in the way of it. So surrender is not giving up, it's giving over, giving your desire over to the care of your highest self, to the care of the voice of inspiration within you, to the care of the universe, to the care of spirit, to the care of God, whatever you believe in spiritually. So when you have a big desire that you're holding close, you don't want to hold it so tightly. You want to give it over. Not give it up, not walk away from it, not abandon it, give it over. Thank the universe for providing you with the direction and the inspiration and the wisdom to take action on your dream without strangling it, without controlling it. Now, here's the answer to this question that I think is a universal question. How do I manifest, or how do I manifest when things aren't going right in my life, when things are not going well? The bottom line is that manifesting isn't about getting anything. Manifesting is about feeling good. So even when things are in their darkest moment, even when we're going through the most difficult circumstances, we have the capacity to lean into moments, subtle shifts, moments of serenity, moments of gratitude, moments of faith, moments of relief, moments of joy. Even if it's a split second, that's enough. So right now, you're here with me on Dear Gabby. This is a moment of joy. You were really so happy to be here. There's a meditation waiting for you in your manifesting challenge. That is a moment of joy. So manifesting isn't about catapulting ourselves into feeling perfect all the time. It's about the subtle shifts for radical change. It's about the subtle shift of feeling a little bit better right now, and then a little bit better later, and then a little bit better later, and just continuously doing whatever it takes to get closer to the level of heightened awareness of that presence of joy within ourselves. That doesn't mean that we are walking around perfectly happy all the time, but it means that we are in the pursuit of feeling good. Being a super attractor isn't the person that's manifesting billions of dollars all day long and perfect things and perfect health. The super attractor is the person who lives in the pursuit of feeling good. Their deepest desire is to lean towards joy. That is our work as super attractors, as spirit junkies, as manifestors, to really show up for that inner sense of serenity and peace within ourselves so that we can wake up one moment at a time to the support that is within us and around us. So, okay, things might be tough right now. Okay, but you're on Dear Gabby in this moment. You have doctors taking care of you. You can continue to guide yourself and lean into what feels good. For you right now, take the pressure off of doing every day of the manifesting challenge. Just go back to what day would have felt good. Use today's exercise. Just trust that even though there's a setup and there's an order, any one of those days will be beneficial for you right now. So just lean into it. Listen, even if you just listen to my audio, but don't do anything, but just listen to the concept and the audio for the day, that's enough. That's enough. Okay? And we're going to be sending you so many prayers in that manifesting challenge group, okay? Sure. So when you're feeling good, you want to do a lot of things at once, and then you don't feel like you're channeling it. Okay. Well, a simple practice, a very simple practice, I get like that myself. I get like, I could do everything all at one time, and I have a million different screens up, and I've got a project here, and I've got something here, and I'm running downstairs. And so that's fine. And that's great when we're super inspired to just do and create and allow. But there is a lot of power in setting yourself up with a desire list for the day, right? So you could literally, and this is a pretty practical method, of make a list of the 5 things you want to bring forth in that day. The 5 things, and put them in order of the most important, the most timely, or the most exciting, or the most, the one that's pulling your heartstrings the most. Put that at the top. And don't move on to the next one until you have completed whatever it is that you wanted to complete with the top one. You may not complete it. Like if it's like, write my book, maybe it's 1,000 words or it's 500 words. It's not write the whole book in a day. So you list out those big desires for the day, and you do not move into the next one until you feel complete with the first one. And you may not get to number 5. You may actually just stay in 1 or 2, but you've made the commitment to channel that energy into the big top desire for the day so that you're not all over the place. You're not minimizing the energy. You're using it to the highest and the best. And you're having fun because you're focused. And when you feel complete with whatever it was that you're doing, you can move on to the next, and you can move on to the next, and you can move on to the next. But make sure you're not all over the place, because sometimes when we do have that rush of energy, that inspiration that's moving through us, we feel really pulled in a lot of different directions. And we have to, as the channel, as the instrument for that force of energy and that force of inspiration, we have to channel that with our commitment and our devotion and our organization and our desire to focus. So this isn't so much as a spiritual tactic or technique as it is a practical technique, but it's a technique for channeling the stream of inspiration, because it can really pull us in a lot of different directions, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. If anybody works with me, they know that they have to stop me. If I start flowing, I'm like, and we can do that. And we can do that. And literally half of my team, their job is to shut me up, right? Because inspiration really pulls you in lots of different directions. So just organize it. If you are feeling a heightened level of insecurity or anxiety or fear or terror at this time, given the moments of trauma that we've all been going through with COVID, with the insurrection, with everything that's happening in the world, I welcome you to say a prayer with me right now, to close your eyes, to get centered with the intention to set ourselves up today. We'll keep it in the day. To set ourselves up to be steady today, to be open to creative solutions today, to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves and others today, to let somebody off the hook today through a loving thought, through a prayer, through an intention, to do something kind for ourselves today, and to know that you are absolutely loved and supported by this Dear Gabby community today. You are not alone. We are in this together, and we have support from one another all throughout the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Say that prayer for yourself and take that in. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me.